Hey everyone, it's Mary Black. How are you? I hope this finds y'all doing happy things and healthy things. I wanted to come to you today and do my blog as another video. And why? Because again, it's something I'm really passionate about. And I've been doing a lot of thinking about this last week. And I love video because I believe that some of my real feelings and heart kind of comes through with the video. So I'm here to talk to you today about being perfectly imperfect, and that is just perfect. So I did a excuse me, I did a little Facebook Live last week on this, and I was talking about the things I've been seeing on Facebook where so many women especially are using so many filters that we can barely recognize them anymore. So I'm coming to you pretty well unmade up today. I got a little bit on because I ran into town earlier today, and you'll have to excuse the chainsaw in the background. My neighbors are working on their yard. And I want to come to you from outside because, and that's another reason why I'm doing this as a video, is because I have to sit inside and type. It's just kind of too hard to do it out here. And I don't want to be inside. It's absolutely gorgeous here today. It is like 80 degrees. The sun is shining. There is not a cloud in the sky, as you can see behind me. And our days, our summer days, are fleeting here in Alaska. So I gotta just soak it up while I can. But I digress, as I tend to do. But I want to talk about perfectly imperfect. So many of us are waiting for the perfect time to do something, whether it be to start back into the gym. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to go work out until, I lose 10 pounds, or I have the right workout clothes, or I don't want to go do that thing until I have it all absolutely mapped out, planned out. I don't want to, I know people who want to be like personal trainers and coaches, but they're not doing things, so they think they need so many certifications and all of that. I'm here to tell you that if you wait until everything is perfect, you'll never do it. Never do it. And I'm going to use an example of Mark and I and our sled dogs. And there are so many things that those sled dogs, and having sled dogs for 22 years together, 36 years for Mark, but there's so many things that they taught us about living a life of purpose and passion. And I've got something I'm working on regarding that, and I'm really excited about it, but that's going to have to wait. I gotta other things I've got to take care of first. But let's talk about perfectly imperfect. So back in the days that we had sled dogs, if we ever waited for everything to be perfect, we never would have gone anywhere. We never would have gone and done a race. We would have been training, and training was never quite perfect. We never had quite enough miles on the dogs, not the right training, not this, not that. If we would have focused on that, we never would have done anything. So you've got to do things despite things not being perfect, because you know what, eventually then it's going to turn out perfect in the end, because guess what, you did it. A great example of that is back when Mark went to run the Iditarod the first time. And that was way back in 1996. And we had to start planning like a year and a half ahead to start saving money and all of that. And, you know, we kind of did it on a shoestring. And we had people tell us, you know, Mark's parents were one of them, my parents were some, and other people, well, why don't you wait until you can afford to do it perfectly? Why? Because we never would have done it. Mark never would have gotten a chance or gone out and attempted to run the Iditarod. It wasn't perfect, and in the end, the race didn't turn out like we had hoped. Mark got caught in a blizzard, in a whiteout blizzard, and unfortunately was unable to finish. And while that was a bummer, he did it. He did. There's so many people. We know so many people through the years that said, oh gosh, I wish I could run the idea, or I can't afford to do it. I wish we could do this. I wish we could do that. And so they stop continuing forward or moving forward or taking a step toward that goal because they're waiting for it to be perfect. And it never freaking will be. Trust me. Another one of the lessons for me was, I was thinking about this morning, back in 2004. Now, a little bit of background. We got dogs right after we got married. I helped a little bit those first couple of years, but that was it. I was a handler. I helped out. I sat on the ATV with them. Maybe, I kind of think if I ran a sled with them, even those first 2 years, I don't even remember. But after a couple of years, I was realizing, I thought it was going to be great to have all these dogs, and then I found out how much time it was going to take, and how much money it was going to cost, or how much money it was costing. So it was like, holy crap. So I was just like, you know what? The dogs aren't going anywhere. And I could either be the statistic of, like many mushers, of not helping out and maybe not having a marriage continue, which is very common in the mushing community, or join them. So I said, I can't beat them, so I'm going to join them. So we bought another ATV. I started training with them, going out running the dogs with him. And then a couple of years later, I did my first sled dog race. Well, it was fun. It wasn't perfect, but that's just the nature of a sled dog race, well, a distance sled dog race. And so that was great. That was one of my biggest accomplishments, was finishing that first race. But my biggest was the year that I decided to run the Bear Grease Marathon. Now, a little background on that. A few months before, we were out in Oregon, and I ran the Attaboy 300. And that race is 300 miles, but it's run over 7 days. You run so many miles a day. You're done at night. You pack up, you sleep in a bed, go out and start a new race the next day. So that was all fine and dandy, but it seems like it's easier. Oh my God, it was one of the hardest races I've done in my life. Not only do you have to do a race and start a race every day, you don't get that much sleep because you have to get out and take care of your dogs in the middle of the night. And we were in the Cascade Mountains running, and the elevation, gained and lost something like 55,000 feet of elevation within those 7 days. And it was a huge accomplishment to finish, and I felt like I was 10 feet tall and bulletproof. So after we got back after that race, we were having a couple of beers, and I said to Mark, you know what, I think I want to run the Bear Grease Marathon. He was like, really? And we talked about it, and I'm like, yeah. So the next morning, he calls the headquarters and says, switch the driver, Mary's gonna run the race. And then it was like, oh shit, what did I just do? But continued on another month down the road, and here I am a month later. I'm thinking to myself, as I'm standing on the sled in the starting chute, and there is a picture that maybe I will share in the blog about this, of me standing there going, you can tell the look on my face is like, oh shit, what did I do? What did I sign myself up for? I had butterflies in my stomach. I thought I was going to throw up, but we got the dogs down the starting chute. They counted down 3, 2, 1. I take off. It was like, oh, what a relief. Getting out on the trail, once you get out on the trail, is fantastic. Go about 100 yards, and then there's a curve. And what do? I biff it. Face plant biff it on the first curve. There's also a picture of that out there. It's pretty hilarious. My headlamp is like off my head, and it's just funny. But I'm hanging on, because the first rule and cardinal rule of dog mushing is you don't let go. You never let go of your sled. And why you don't do that is because whether you're there or not, hanging on or not, the dogs are going to take off. They're going to keep going without you. So while nothing was perfect, it was so cute. The crowd, you can hear them go, oh. And I drug for a ways and snowplowed some snow with my chest. Finally got my team slowed down enough, grabbed my snow hook, hooked it into the ground, got my sled upright, and away we went. And the crowd was like, yay! And It was crazy emotions for the next couple of days. There were highs, there were lows. You'd be cruising along at night and the dogs look awesome. And then another stretch of trail, you just go, oh my God, they all look like shit. Are we gonna finish? And it was super warm that year. Hallelujah. It never got below like 5 below, I think, of the whole race. But it was super warm toward the end of the race where it was 50 degrees. Now 50 degrees for a sled dog, that's way hot. And I remember thinking to myself a couple of times, I mean, shoot, I had to carry a dog to the first checkpoint. It got too warm. It was warm at the start. He got too warm and I had to put him in the sled and I had to carry him. It's like, oh God. I mean, I could have thought there like, oh shit, my whole race is over right here, right now. But there's still 400 miles left to go and it's a long race. Like I said, it was ups and downs and ups and downs. And in the end, it was all perfect. As I came down those trails and I was singing to myself, I don't know, I still have this song in my head and I can still picture myself standing on the sled with those dogs just moving in unison. I had 8 dogs left on my team. The other 4 just weren't cutting it, so I left them at checkpoints with our truck and with Mark. And I just remember singing to myself and to the dogs, Ozzy Osbourne's Mama, I'm Coming Home. It was just so, cause it's home, it's the home stretch. And that last 10 miles, it was just so sweet, just watching them, letting them do their job. And then I thought to myself, they're perfect. My job wasn't to give them a perfect run. My job was to do the best I could do within the best of my abilities, within the abilities we had trained them. And they deserved to be at that finish line. And they were awesome. That's what it's all about, people. It's not about all of the getting things perfect and being perfect and everything going along perfectly. Look at those things, those little hitches, those little hiccups, or that what seems to be like an unsurmountable mountain, and climb it. Because you know, the climbers, they take it step by step by step, and when they reach the top, that's where it's perfect. It's not perfect climbing to the top, but when you get there, it will be the perfect moment. Trust me. So there you have my 2 cents for the day, or my thoughts for the day. I hope you all have an incredible week. There are some great things coming. I'm really excited. If you feel the urge to share this, I would love for you to share it. If you know of somebody that can use this message, just share it with them. Please share it with them. Or even sign up for our updates and get these things right to your inbox. I'm trying to get them out to our subscribers first. The link's out. They might get it on Sunday night or Monday morning. And then you don't have to wait for it to come out. You don't have to go searching for it. It just goes right to your inbox. Click and you can read the blog or read updates of what's going on, because we've got a lot of great things coming your way. So again, you can go to markandmaryblack.com, and on the top you can just sign up, get the updates. If you like what you see, great. If it turns out that it's not something for you, hey, I'm down with that. That's fine. I want people to be doing and reading and watching this where this is their jam and this is what they need to hear. Because there are tons of people out there, like I used to be, letting that little negative voice inside my head talk me out of things, or try to talk me out of things. And I want to share with them how to just keep moving and be their cheerleader and give them the guts to just go for it, whether it is perfect or imperfectly perfect. Because you know what? That's just perfect. Thank you. Please share. Love y'all. See you soon.